そこ。
We're recording today on April 1st, known throughout the world as April Fool's Day, as developers and publishers around the world are posting their spoofs and goofs on YouTube and Twitter. Today, here at NPR, remember April 1st as the birthday of psychologist Abraham Maslow, who was born on April 1st, 1908, who's primarily known for the hierarchy of needs.
I am Senpai.
I'm Will.
And I'm Walter Glass. You're listening to This Nerdington Life, brought to you by the Sears Roebuck Foundation and WGBH Boston, and most importantly, viewers like you. Act 1. Basic Needs. The way Abraham Maslow has his hierarchy of needs structured is in the form of a pyramid. At the bottom, the base, physiological needs. As humans, as animals, creatures, we need to eat, drink, breathe air, have shelter in order to survive, as that's the base of survival and is the base of Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. In terms of being a video game nerd, what is the physiological needs, the most basic needs? We need power and electricity. We need our hardware to play our games on. And we need our games library. Next up on the hierarchy of needs, safety needs. And that's where we're coming today with today's news story. In terms of safety needs, a crucial part of all video game nerds, we need access to our library of games, and our safety is threatened, with Sony discontinuing the PlayStation 3 and PSP stores on July 2nd, and the PS Vita digital storefront closing down on August 27th.
I believe that just makes a bigger case to have physical media around. There's no real way to have game preservation when we're moving into more of a digital era. This straight up just calls out the need to have people just have easier access to all of these files. Whether it be free, whether it be paid for. Because there are games that I believe they're pivotal to understanding the evolution of gaming that are going to be missing due to these closures.
Agreed. That's why when it comes to like the whole argument behind backwards compatibility, you know, that's why I kind of like Microsoft's messaging with their message about it, like, hey, you can play your games over any generation. Most of them are on Game Pass. So hopefully this isn't the end of backwards compatibility for PlayStation. It's just them closing down the storefront, because I read somewhere that they are like patenting a technology where you can somehow emulate older games or something like that. So we'll see.
That technology is already built into PlayStation Now, which is their streaming service, which this storefront might be they might be possibly folding more of that
and
back
to transition to that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Also, you won't be able to purchase games anymore on those platforms, but you will be able to download games that are already in your library. So there is that nugget of
So it's essentially just taking away the purchasing aspect of it, because if you already bought it,
yes,
you still have access to it.
The problem with this situation that we have is that we're still going to be dealing with, you know, publishers having the last say whether or not the purchase that you made is final or even yours to begin with.
Right.
Which has been a problem with digital distribution since the start.
Mm-hmm. PT and the Scott Pilgrim game being one of the bigger ones. I believe Scott Pilgrim was in limbo for almost 10 years, something like that. Am I wrong?
Yes.
What's the game?
Scott Pilgrim.
Oh, Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, it was in limbo where they just took him off of the digital stores, even if you had to purchase. I remember that. Yeah. So this just, I feel like this is just a learned issue that just needs to be tackled, like later down through the life. I am for one, and the idea that after the studio it's either defunct or the game is over 20 years old, should be available for free.
I kind of like that.
Unfortunately, copyright law is definitely against that and is constantly moving in the opposite direction.
It is a shame.
In similar news, Nintendo, Mario 3D All-Stars Collection was also taken off the market.
Mm-hmm. Physical copies already being resold for twice its price at the moment. And that's just supposed to be...
Sealed or unsealed? Because I have an unsealed copy.
Unsealed.
You should definitely scalp that.
Unsealed, that's definitely like the way to go. If you're able to have it, if you're able to get it that way, you could easily make at least double. Yeah. I will personally hold up on that copy until maybe one more year and see where it goes.
Exactly.
Because what I foresee Nintendo doing is that they're gonna make those 3 games individually priced into their store.
What you should do is get it signed by Miyamoto and then sell that physical copy. That has someone who plays on PC, my ownership, if you could even call it that, is primarily digital, which we don't even really own these games. We just own licenses to access these games that the publisher or storefront could end at any time.
You own the key to the digital locker in the digital gym.
The sword of Damocles is always hanging above the head of digital ownership, which is why I primarily purchase my games on GOG.com, which is CD Projekt's DRM-free service where you could download and back up your games without having to connect to the internet or any sort of digital rights management.
Exactly.
I am of the idea that even though I just spoke very passionately about game preservation and corporations owning the actual product that you bought, I am of the idea that it's all material. I usually tend to get rid of all my stuff later down the line. I go through a cycle after 2-3 years, I get rid of all my media and just build it back up.
Yeah, I do that too.
Yeah.
Like a perfect example, when The Last of Us Part 2 came out last year, I bought it brand new and played through it twice. I was like, alright, I'll probably never play this again, or it's going to be a while till I play this, and I bought it today, again, pre-owned. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I'm stupid.
I am very much a fleeting consumer. Once I purchase a thing, I consume it, I am done with it.
Right.
Do not tend to replay things, nor do I want to.
I'm just glad it was on sale.
But physical media is constantly under threat with how PlayStation and Xbox both released consoles variations with no disc drive, and how digital sales have now overtaken roughly 50% and is constantly growing. Mm-hmm. Especially with newer generations of gamers growing up in this environment of digital consumership, and V-Bucks being a hot commodity.
Well, yeah, and I mean, it's just like these, I don't know if it's just the younger generation, but you have these generation of kids that don't really care if they own something physical. Like, we're old school, so like me, like when I pre-ordered Biomutant, I wanted that physical copy, and it also comes with like a small statue, which is another incentive to get it. But like with some of these kids, they're just like, well, I don't give a crap. Just give me, like you said, the V-Bucks or give me the digital game. I don't care.
I believe a huge part of that is because our society has just become more of a instant gratification type of society, where with digital being available 24/7,
right?
They don't have to wait. They can just spend the money and get the product.
Especially kids, because kids are like, well, I can get a digital, or I can bug my mom or dad. They can drive me to the store, and I take the chance of it being in stock or out of stock. So yeah, I agree with you there. That makes a lot of sense. It's just convenient. But I'm physical media. If I can get it physically, all the way.
If there's something that Sony, Nintendo, any platform holder or publisher can take away from you, It's definitely not your Biomutant statue.
That's right. That is right.
Until you decide to put it up on eBay after a couple of years.
I don't know if I'll do that, but we'll see.
Act 2. Psychological needs. Once a person has fulfilled their basic needs of feeling their physiological needs being met, their safety needs being met, they start to work towards their psychological needs. The next rung on Maslow's hierarchy of needs is belongingness and love needs. As video gamers, there's a sense of community in the shared passion. We have conventions, we have Discord rooms where we discuss our hobby, and the community in this global pandemic of COVID-19 is continued to be spread apart. PAX East, which was scheduled for June 3rd through 6th, has been canceled and is shifting towards PAX Online, scheduled for July 15th through 18th.
I believe we have previously spoken in the podcast that these conventions seem more and more unnecessary as time has shown. Just like we spoke previously in the previous act, we live in a society that mostly thrives in digital media. So I feel like going forward, this should be the step that should be taken. Not just for the safety, but also from a financial standpoint, it's just so much more lucrative going all digital.
Well, unlike E3, PAX has primarily been a community-centered event with different physical board game rooms, bring your own computer rooms. It's primarily filled with panels where the fans can interact with the developers and game creators they love. But so the cancellation of a physical PAX is definitely a jab, but definitely a blow to people's hopes of gathering and having that communal aspect of gaming.
Agreed.
As someone who's been to PAX both East in Boston and PAX West in Seattle, it's definitely a vibe there.
Well, that was gonna be my point. Was that's the point of those events, like whether it's E3, PAX, it's all about the experience. Yeah. So that's the only reason I would like to not do away with these things, like in the future.
Waiting in line for a panel, just conversing with somebody who you know is interested in the exact same thing, since you're waiting to see Greg Kasavin speak.
That is, yeah. It's like going to Star Wars World in Florida or California. Are you getting an overpriced lightsaber when you build your own? Yeah, probably. It's probably not worth $200, but you're also paying for the experience, and which I can't wait to do, hopefully in October, when me and my wife go to Star Wars World.
As somebody that has had to go to these conventions and conferences for work, I just do not understand the attraction to these things. I feel like, yes, these things are meant to advertise their product, and they're meant to showcase what they're going to feel like once they are being released. But first impressions not necessarily reflect the final product. And
right.
Whenever you have these people that are just passionate and outspoken on these things, it could potentially ruin a good thing for the makers of the product.
I can agree with that.
But this is also coming from an outsider perspective, as I've never gone to PAX or anything like that.
Yes, the conventions you're primarily familiar with are, as you said, you went there for work. They're consumer.
Yeah, they're all business related.
Yes. Whereas PAX started as a grassroots thing from Penny Arcade, and there are definitely way more independent exhibitioners versus a consumer product show. And it's illuminating to be at PAX, and you could sit down with a developer and give them feedback on their upcoming game, and then just chat with someone working on something you're excited about, and you could see your feedback, and having that open dialogue rather than just exchanges online on Twitter or Discord, it is more meaningful to have that face-to-face connection with another human being.
Human beings are social animals, so I can understand the appeal to it, but to me it feels more like again, this is coming from an outsider's perspective, how much of a celebrity push is being put into places like PAX Eats and stuff like that. Because like, for example, if they were to get a specific developer into one of those conventions, how much would that drive traffic into those conventions? Our PAX East are more of a way to proliferate the e-celebrity status.
I suppose it depends on the lineup of...
Because as someone that likes going to musical concerts, it really does depend on who's. It really depends on like who is in the building.
Agreed.
I have gone to concerts, even music festivals, where like I don't even care for the headliner. I care for maybe the opening band or maybe the second to last band, and go definitely for the. Do you feel like PAX, as C celebrities have grown, do you feel like PAX is getting tainted a little bit like that?
Well, they have specific events like that for kind of streamers and whatnot, like MagFest.
Interesting.
And whatnot, whereas PAX is a lot of industry panels, but not as much as GDC, where GDC is more technical. Where I've been to a panel where Pete Hines, who's the vice president of VP and marketing for Bethesda, talk about how you get into VP and marketing, this sort of thing. There's just a wide variety of panels and whatnot. That's where I've seen Yoko Taro speak about his products, his games, his art. Really depends on the lineup of panels, and there's usually a wide variety. Every time I've went, it's because let's just go check it out and then see what panels are happening, and that face-to-face interaction is crucial to meeting our belongingness, our social needs as human beings. But like our libraries, our interactions are increasingly digital, and our digital interactions, are they sufficient enough to sustain our love and belonging needs? The next step on Maslow's hierarchy of needs is esteem needs. The feeling of prestige, accomplishment, respect for yourself and for your peers. Ikumi Nakamura.
Which does not happen in the video game community a lot because of the dumb console wars.
I will argue that sometimes it happens a little too much when
it does happen a little too much.
Where developers are put into a pedestal as they can do wrong and cannot be criticized.
That's how I feel about Naughty Dog. Don't get me wrong, Naughty Dog has made some amazing games, but they're that company that they could put shit in a bag and light it on fire and people would think it's gold.
I disagree. You have the backlash of The Last of Us Part 2.
But here's the thing about The Last of Us Part 2, and this is coming from someone who liked the game, didn't like the story, but overall would replay it again, hence I bought it again. There was backlash over a game because, at least from majority of what I saw, which is because a main character died. So, spoiler alert, Joel dies in the game. But there was also backlash because of the leaks that happened. So I guess it really depends on why there's backlash for a game, because if the game truly was shit, it wouldn't have won all these game awards. It wouldn't win Game of the Year like 80 million times or whatever. But again, I feel like if that game were hot garbage, there are those people out there that would still give it a 10 out of 10. And it could be the worst game you've ever played.
Similar to Zack Snyder's cut of Justice League.
Right. Do I think it was the best movie ever? No. Do I think it was better than the original? Absolutely. But I gave the original like a 5 out of 10. I gave Zack Snyder's cut of the Justice League maybe a 7 or 8 out of 10. Because it's not a perfect movie. But it's just, there are people within these gaming communities, whether it be Xbox, Nintendo, PC, PlayStation, that believe that these companies or their publishers or game studios can do no wrong. And I see it all the time on Twitter. Oh, fanboys are the worst on Twitter.
There's some of figures, though, that you can say that are just near universally loved.
Right.
Even when they have done wrong things. Like
Right.
Shigeru Miyamoto, a lot of times gets quoted as a bad game, a rush game is... I completely forgot the quote, but it comes to games staying delayed. He gets quoted a lot, and that unfortunately come and bit him back when the release of Star Fox Zeroes happened. When it got delayed and was still being...
A bad game.
Bad game. But recently there's been like a newer industry person.
Yeah, Miyamoto hasn't been hands-on on game development for years.
She comes from Time War Works. I'm completely blanking out on her name.
You say Tango?
Yeah, she comes from...
I think I know
Ikumi Nakamura.
Yes. We're gonna speak about her in a little bit.
Yes. Ikumi Nakamura is a game developer who had prestige accomplishments. She was one of the heads of Tango Gameworks. She was there for 9 years. Had all the prestige you could want. And then she stepped down. Act 3. Self-fulfillment needs. At the top of Maslow's hierarchy of needs is self-actualization. Once the needs of your physiological needs, your safety needs, your love and belonging needs, your esteem needs are met, you can start working on the self and self-actualization, where you start achieving your full potential, your creativity. And that's where Ikumi Nakamura stands. Around 2010, she was at the formation of Tango Gameworks, which is the studio formed by former Capcom developer Shinji Mikami, creator of the Resident Evil franchise. Early on, she released little webcomics showing off development life at Tango Gameworks. Then Tango Gameworks was acquired by Bethesda Software, where they developed The Evil Within, and Ikumi Nakamura was a protege to Shinji Mikami, and she was creative director on their upcoming game, Ghostwire Tokyo. After 9 years at Tango Gameworks, Ikumi Nakamura left the studio, citing ongoing health reasons. And then now, in 2021, she announced that she's back in creating a small independent studio.
Very nice.
She recently became a mother late last year.
Yeah.
I believe that might have been one of the main reasons.
And she's been working independently as an artist, creating Rainbow Six Siege skins most recently.
And I believe she also did the intro for Digital Showcase in Tokyo. Forgot the name of it, but she was the lead for it. I believe she just made the whole thing. She just has an amazing eye for design. Going back to Evil Within, she made the design for the sisters monster. I forgot the name of it, but she basically looks like a very Japanese horror influence monster. She has the Sadako aesthetic along with the spider yokai, which the name is escaping my mind, but she came up with that lit design. And going back to the sketches that they had for her, there's barely any changes on them, just because she had it down from the first get-go.
She's definitely a talented artist. And also she's been examining how games are developed around the world, getting different... She's broadening her horizons, which is part of self-actualization, where she's looking at how other creative minds think around the world and how other studios are run around the world to get ideas and to bring those into her own sense of design and management and to expand on that. Ikumi's been quoted saying, "Back in the Capcom days, my seniors would be sleeping under their desks to make games. They were passionate to that point. Although that wasn't the case anymore, when you get ideas and work in a team, there can be some problems that come with it. It arrived to the point it got on my health. You can't make games if you're not healthy. I started wondering whether there wasn't a way for me to make games while feeling better. I took the decision to quit before it's too late." Which is probably as self-actualized you can get in the games industry.
Yep.
Prioritizing your health and creativity over having a major release as part of one of the largest publishers out there with Bethesda release.
Yeah.
To quote Jessica Walters, good for her.
Good for her, indeed.
Good for her.
Maybe Ikumi Nakamura, as we all look forward to her next release, her next game, whatever creative output she puts out there, we'll be rooting for her, and she'll be an example for all of us to pursue our own self-actualization. You've been listening to This Nerdington Life. But yeah, I'm fucking psyched.
Oh my god,
great.
For her. It is hot. It's hot.
It's hot.
It's hot up here, man.
Jesus.
I'm glad I put on an undershirt, but yeah, I'm excited to see where she goes, because she did win everybody's heart at E3, but she was on my radar when Tango first founded, because, as I said previously many times before on the podcast, Vanquish is one of my favorite games of all time, so I was very curious to see what Shinji Mikami was going to do.
I'm always a huge fan of anything Shinji Mikami releases, even if it's hot garbage. Looking at you, God, what is with my fucking memory today? Jesus Christ!
Smoking too many bones,
Yeah,
baby.
smoking that weed.
Roasting all those bones.
Smoking wheat every day.
Smoking wheat.
The marijuana.
The marijuana. Yeah. Anyways, Shadows of the Dam. Thank you, Carlos.
Yeah.
Shadows of the Dam.
Is that not a good game?
It's not great.
It's fun.
It's fun, but it's not great. But I still enjoyed it, and I only bought it because Shinji Mikami was part of it. That's
Right.
So, well, yeah, no, I was interested on Nakamura since, like I said earlier, just taking care of like the most of the designs for Evil Within, and she just has a really good eye for design.
Dude, yeah, if her Tango webcomics are still up, I'd check them out, but ever since they, got bought by Bethesda, I'm 99% sure they don't have the same website anymore.
They probably,
yeah. But yeah, it was fun. Just like, let's see what Shinji Mikami's up to. Let's go to Tango Gameworks' website, and then there's nothing except for a couple blogs and these little webcomics, just because the studio just founded.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah,
you feel better, Billy?
Yeah.
In the trailer, there's for the first trailer for Ghostwire Tokyo, I think there's a reference to like a demo that they made at Tango Gameworks where Mikami was talking about one of the first project they did was they just made a little game where it's just a ramen bowl and you're controlling chopsticks and moving around little pools of oil to just make a bigger.
Oh, that's cool.
That's a WarioWare game.
Yeah. It was just,
and if it's not, it should be a WarioWare game.
And then they have that shot in that reveal trailer for Ghostwire Tokyo of just going into the bowl of ramen. I think that's got to be.
I'm still really curious with that game because it's not what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like a third-person horror survival game. It just looks like a horror FPS
action game, baby.
Yeah,
I dig it.
I'm excited.
I mean, I'll buy it. I don't care if it's called garbage, and I know I'm going to buy it. I know I'm going to like it.
Right, exactly. Sam,
I dig it.
It is,
just like a bat.
It is.
I dig it.
It is a senpai game.
Just like an onmyo. dig it.
Dig it.
You watch that Snyder Cut yet?
I have no way to watch it. Nor do I want to. I do want to watch Godzilla versus King Kong.
It's good.
You saw it already?
I saw it yesterday. Came out yesterday.
It came out yesterday?
It came out yesterday.
I was waiting for Friday. I'll watch it at work tonight.
There you go.
Yeah, it's good.
It's
a fun movie.
I need to figure out a way to watch it. I'll probably just do the free trial and just watch that.
It's good movies.
You know what I was...
Movies are so scary right now.
I was rewatching pretty much every Captain America movie because Falcon Winter Soldier. Yeah.
I found myself doing that today at work. I was like looking up Captain America clips because I finally watched the first 2 episodes. It's good. It's a really good show.
I just love how Civil War is the anti-team-up movie.
Right.
It's like, we're going to fight each other in Act 1 and 2, and then eventually we're going to team up because the main bad guy is there now. Just like, no.
So Mean Girls. But with superheroes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it ends with just Iron Man trying to kill Bucky and Cap trying to defend him.
Yep.
Mean Girls.
Yeah. And it's just... and the whole
Mean
thing
Girls.
is just... I love Tony's motivation in that movie because it's just so honest and sincere. Just like, no, we don't need to fight Tony. It was all this guy the whole time. Just like, he killed my mom. Fuck that.
I mean, that's fair, yeah.
It's like, fuck that. I'm gonna
I'd be the
kill
same
him.
way. I'd be like, yeah, you killed my parents.
Give him a meme.
You're gonna die.
Kill me
Just
meme.
like, I don't care if he was mind controlled or whatever. It's just like, he killed my mom.
The
I'm
hand
just
shots
gonna
were there.
destroy him. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I talked about this in the podcast. After Avengers 2, that's kind of where I fell off of Marvel, because I believe the next movie after that was Ant-Man. And it was just
Ant-Man
like-
was great.
Well, that's the thing. I love Paul Rudd, but I was just like, I feel like I can skip this one.
No.
And then,
You gotta
and
watch
then I
Ant-Man.
did it, and then after I did it, I felt free. Like, I no longer had, like, shackles of like, I have to watch these things.
Mm-hmm.
And then I never looked back, and
Oh, Ant-Man's so good.
I think that cured some of my depression.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to make you a list of the must-see Marvel movies and give you access to my Disney.
And none of
Plus.
them are Avengers 1 or 2.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll
I'll start from Ant-Man onwards in the timeline.
I will.
I'll keep it under 6 movies.
I will.
6. No.
So I watched.
7.
What is it? 2 years ago, I finally watched Black Panther. It was alright.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
But I had too high expectations for it.
I think
Me too.
everyone did.
Just because
I liked it. I thought it was a great movie.
I absolutely love what Ryan Coogler did for the Rocky franchise with Creed, because Creed is...
Creed is great. Creed is great.
fantastic.
Yeah.
And I was hoping, like, all right, we're going to get Marvel Creed, baby.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, oh no, it's just a regular Marvel movie
Yeah.
with a more interesting soundtrack and score.
Well, the one thing I really do like Black Panther a lot is just the world building on it. It's
Right.
fantastic. It is granted, this is coming from the guy that hasn't seen all the Marvel movies. This is by far my favorite world build movie in the movies I've seen.
Mm.
It's fantastic, and I do like Black Panther as a hero. I think he's a great hero, and his brother was a great villain.
Have you seen Thor Ragnarok?
No,
Oh, that's the best Thor movie.
there's like 3, and 2 of them, 1 and 2 are dog shit.
It-
That's not hard to do.
Yeah. Well,
Two's not
I do want to watch it
No,
because
it's
of
good. They're
because of
bottom
Taika.
lines here,
I
yeah.
do want to watch it because of Taika, because I like him a lot.
Taika's awesome.
see, the thing is about 1 and 2, it has better acting than those movies deserve, just because the cast, and it's directed by fucking
What's
Kenneth Branagh.
what's the name of the really?
Yeah.
Okay.
One's directed by Kenneth Branagh. So, like, I love the family drama in Thor 1 and 2, and then just Thor... Ragnarok is just all jokes per minute, and that's
It's a Taika. It's a Taika.
as
it's a fun movie, but
As
it's just
someone
like,
that
cool.
is trying,
F the pedal
someone
a
is
little bit.
actively trying to become a himbo and also is in love with himbos, could not care any less about Thor. I did watch 1 and 2.
Hemsworth?
Yeah.
See, Hemsworth, it's...
I fucking watched 1 and 2 because Kat Dennis. And
You know
stuff.
he's gonna be Hulkamania. He's gonna be Hulk
Hulk
Hogan,
Hulk Hogan?
in a biopic.
I can see that.
He doesn't have that weird hot dog body, though.
But have you seen him recently?
he's Australian. He can get racist.
He apparently he's changed his diet so much he looks completely different.
The thing, the whole thing with him...
Wasn't he in a racing movie?
Yeah, the Formula One movie.
I actually really enjoy
was a
him
good
in
movie.
that. Yeah, like I'm not knocking him down. I enjoy him as an actor. I just don't care Thor the character.
He's great. He's great, dude.
That's the thing. He's one of the few himbos I don't give a shit about, which kind of sucks. It is what it is.
Well, the thing is, what I love about Thor is they get weird with it, and you go get a weird twists on Norse mythology, kind of like
I do like their little thing of like, yeah, it's what you think is magic is actually just technology. It's like, no, it's magic though.
And you can't fit that in well with a movie.
Yeah,
of just like, here's all this weird lore and let's get weird twists on it. Whereas you get something longer like a God of War 2018 where you have enough time to build this world and stretch it out and really feel it.
Yeah.
Which is why I love Winter and Falcon, because I just love the series format way more than movies. You just the first episode, you're just sitting with them in their daily lives for like 40 minutes, and then you get into the plot in episode 2.
Well, I think
I dig it.
As somebody that doesn't care about these things, I do believe these series, they're gonna have a hard time not doing fans wrong because they've been building these characters for like years.
10 years.
Yeah. Jesus, 10 years.
Yeah.
Well, now it's over 10 years, but yeah, just about 10 years.
Fuck. Okay.
Yeah, because the first Iron Man came out in 2008, so they're
that's right.
13 years. They've been building them up.
Yeah, so like I feel like they're gonna have a hard time doing fans wrong, making a series, which
and they did the formula so well because they spaced it out enough. They made the stories good enough to where you got invested in these characters. So I mean, hats off to Marvel because they did it so well, and that's why it's still going 13 years later.
You know how there was like a pouring outcry, at least in my circles, and my circles is probably just me and some 2 other people. Not you guys. I love you guys though. And so there's
cinema guys.
No, not even that. It's just like there's been this like this outcry I've had for like years, like Harry Potter people.
I don't get them.
And they're like, I swear to God, please read another book, and I just kept saying that for years and years and years. And they stopped reading those books, and they started fucking watching Marvel movies. That's what the evolution is.
As a fan of Harry Potter in the books and the movies, I agree with you. But that's what any movie franchise, book franchise.
That's like a big franchise. I'll give you that.
It's like, yeah, they're good, but there's more out there. Yeah.
Well, I never got into Harry Potter because as a kid I was reading fucking Spider-Man and that shit. I'm not gonna deal with a.
I was reading mangoes.
I read the shit out of
and watched
Harry
the
Potter.
anime. I only watched the movies because... No, I'm a liar. I read Prison of Azkaban when I first moved to the United States. That was my second book I ever read in English. The first one was The Hobbit.
Nice.
I don't know why The Hobbit was in the ELO study hall in my middle school, but it was there.
Dude, get to... Alright, I'm going to make that playlist of the Marvel movies. Okay, it's going to end in...
Can I jump
Infinity War and Endgame, because those are like what I've always wanted from movies is like I just want a sci-fi Lord of the Rings, and you get it with Infinity War.
So here's the thing. I this year I'm gonna make the effort to watch Thor 3 just because of Taika and Taika alone. Can I go from Thor 3 to Infinity War?
Yes.
Then I'm gonna do that.
Technically, you can.
Then I'm gonna do that.
Because Ragnarok takes place right before Infinity War.
Because I can.
If you want to narrow it down to just that, you can.
Because I know. Doctor Strange has a whole like thing of.
His movie's cool, dude. Did you watch the Doctor Strange movie?
No.
It's good.
Watch it.
Visually, it's awesome. That was one of those movies. That was kind of like that was one of those movies. Like I don't know a lot about Doctor Strange, so I went in with very low expectations and blew me away.
That's how I am about all the Marvel movies. The only one I actually liked growing up was Iron Man because he was red and he was a robot. So like when the movie got announced, I got excited and I wanted to watch it. I didn't know about the other heroes, and I got into them. So I can just skip. No, I watched Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I did watch that.
Yeah. Do you watch the first one?
Yeah, I actually like that one.
Okay, if we had to narrow it down, let's say 5 movies. You got to do Infinity War,
and
Endgame.
Yeah, so
Thor 3.
Yeah.
You got to do Doctor Strange. You have to. It's that good.
Is the whole point of Doctor Strange is like there's multiple universes and he's able to see them all?
No. That's going to be the next one.
Well, here's the thing though. I know in Infinity War is going to be like that's going to be the climax, right? Infinity War.
Endgame is the
Endgame
climax.
Yeah.
So you want to watch Thor 3, Infinity War, Endgame in that order.
Gotcha.
But before that,
but you just told me I can just watch that and be cool. So that's what I'm gonna do.
No, watch Doctor Strange.
I don't care for Cumberbatch.
Why not? What's wrong with you?
There's nothing. With me, there's plenty. But
He plays a good asshole.
Yeah, that's his whole thing. He's just like
He's like, I'm better than you.
He's
I know
hubris of just.
I just don't care for Cumberbatch. I just. Yeah.
What about Tilda Swinton?
I do like her.
Mads Mikkelsen?
Mads Mikkelsen. Yeah, he's in it.
He's the bad guy.
I know.
They always fuck up his eyes, you know.
I know these things. I'm just like,
just do it.
Just do it, man.
Whatever.
I'll give you $100 if you do it.
No, you won't.
Let's get to dinner first.
I'll give you a Joker amiibo if you do it.
I don't even like Joker.
Get out of here.
Persona 3 protagonist. That's what it's at.
Yeah, if he's so great, why is he up in the sky? Sealing away the moon.
We gotta stop the moon. You never know what's gonna happen.
I do like...
That game is so fucking depressing.
I know. I like how they swerved after that. It's like, oh, that's too much a bummer.
Yeah.
And that also kills franchise potential. Have the protagonist live from there on out. Because, it's too sad.
What are we talking about?
Persona 3.
Oh, okay.
If you're gonna play any play Persona 5.
I have
but
5.
3 is like the bummiest of the month.
Yeah.
Honest.
It's
It's great
John?
though.
I thought John was going to be here.
Nah, next weekend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, how you all been? I was missing in action last week because I had to work.
Finally finished. By finished Strikers, I got all the achievements.
There you go.
Nice, good job.
All that grinding and making perfect personas. It paid off by my Steam saying 100% completion.
Number went up as high as it could.
Yeah.
So you were like, check that.
And then I downloaded this indie game, this adventure game called Genesis Noir, which it looks cool. Have you seen Soul?
Not yet.
Okay, so if you've seen the trailers, the trippy parts when he's in the afterlife,
Right.
the visual style is like that. It's a murder mystery noir thing that takes place at the Big Bang.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So the gunshot that killed the person you're investigating was the Big Bang. And you're just like walking around as galaxies and shit. It's weird.
My leg went numb.
Well, because it's just so dumb and full of cum.
That's fair.
But
Because you won't watch Doctor Strange.
True.
Dude, it's cool.
It's cool.
I do have to give props to Thor. The actor that plays basically the Japanese Asgardian.
Mm-hmm.
He's the same actor for Ichi the Killer. And I love that movie.
Yeah, who loves Takashi Miike?
I do.
If he was any good, he'd be directing Marvel movies, bro.
No, he wouldn't. If he was any good, he'd probably stop directing movies.
Which is
It just gives me. I learned a new phrase. It gives me brainworms and.
Brainworms?
Yeah, it's apparently that's like it makes you feel happy, and that movie always just tickles brainworms because the soundtrack is made by like half of the Boredoms, which is a noise band I really like.
Oh, okay.
And the fucking outfits on that whole goddamn movie is great.
They are good.
Yeah.
You should watch You should get into Takashi
You should not watch Ichi the Killer. That's a fucked up movie.
No, he
should read the
loves that
manga.
dude.
Don't read the manga.
Did he also direct Audition, or is that someone else?
That's Audition.
He did not. He makes like 5 movies a year. You should watch Audition.
Audition is a great horror movie.
Yeah.
I feel like I've heard of that before.
He gets recommended a lot.
Once it gets to the key scene, you'll be like, "Oh, I've heard of that scene. I've probably seen a clip of that."
If you want to watch a good action movie, 13 Assassins is really good too.
Yes. He's Takashi Miike. He covers every genre, the whole spectrum. He's got family dramas.
People say he's the Japanese Quentin Tarantino.
He just does it all.
The thing is with him is like he Tarantino has a very like specific way that he writes dialogue and
Right.
Mika does the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
cool.
he has a horribly huge like catalog.
Yeah.
to go
He's
through.
also not as successful as Quentin Tarantino.
Mhm.
So he's got to do a bunch of phone-in
Like indie
projects
shit.
of
Yeah.
just like,
Um,
yeah, what's this license thing? I'll sign up for it and do that.
Gozu was one of them. Gozu was a weird ass movie.
I haven't seen that.
It's weird.
So he's kind of like Crispin Glover. I'll take a huge role just to pay for an indie
He-
project.
Yeah, dude. That's a good example.
He should have been Doctor Strange.
Crispin
Crispin
Glover?
Glover?
Yes.
Get the fuck out of here.
He should have been fucking Doctor
Batch.
Strange.
Cumberbatch is perfect for it.
Yeah, he's a good Stephen
I-
Strange.
Wish he would have been Doctor Strange.
Get the fuck out of here with your Crispin Glover shit.
I like him.
How you can't
I do
say
too,
you
but
can't,
I don't want
no,
him
you can't
in
say he'd
everything.
be a good Doctor Strange if you haven't seen Cumberbatch or Strange yet.
I've seen Cumberbatch as Sherlock. I've seen Cumberbatch as...
They're not the same, man. They're not the
Cumberbatch.
same.
I don't care for her.
Here's what I'll say: if you ever end up watching Doctor Strange, and then after watching it you feel like Crispin Glover would be a better Stephen Strange, then you are entitled to that opinion.
Just
Wait,
because
his name's Steven?
just because his name is
Yeah, Doctor Strange. His name's
doesn't mean-
Doctor
yeah.
Stephen Strange.
Strange is his last name.
You don't know this about Marvel
Yeah.
characters? All Marvel characters have the same first name, like letter,
Acronyms.
like
Or
so.
not
Peter
acronyms.
Parker, Reed Richards.
Well, just the Stan Lee created ones. No, yeah, there was a funny interaction in Infinity War about the whole last name.
Okay.
It's
I mean, one of these days I'll watch
oh,
him.
I'm Spider-Man.
One of these days I'll watch him. Just
You mean
because
this weekend?
Yeah, just do this weekend.
I work this whole weekend.
Yeah, it's
I have 3 days off in a row this next week. I'll probably watch
2 seconds. My brother keeps going.
oh yeah, dude, yeah, man. Take it. We'll keep talking about how this hipster doofus. Just watch him, man. Even Robert Redford was in him because he's like, hey, this is the new hotness. I'm just gonna star in this movie to see how it's made to understand the process, man.
Like, I'm gonna be sincere
it,
here.
didn't
I'm gonna
it?
be sincere here for a second. I think they're okay movies. I think a huge chunk of it just comes since like you get to see like
Oh,
your
they're not
childhood
high
things.
cinema, man.
I'm not even
They're
talking
just-
about high cinema. I just think
just chill out
overall,
and watch a cool
even
film.
even for like a commercial standard movie, I think they're okay. But the thing is like they're so pretty. They're have your favorite characters that you invested so much time in. So like that's why they're always a good time to watch.
Yeah.
I just don't have the drive to watch them.
Understandable.
That's just really it.
Like my main issue with them is that the reason it works as an expanded universe is because it does have this homogenous style.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's that homogenous style. Like I want to see Ryan Coogler the fuck out of Black Panther,
Mm-hmm.
but then it is like, oh, it's just another Marvel movie.
They just like this one
Yeah.
thing that you do,
Which is, I'm curious about the Eternals because that's. Have you seen? Are you familiar with? I think her name's Chloe Zhao.
don't think so.
Okay. Have you seen Nomadland? I know that's like got all the Oscar hotness.
Mhm.
Where,
It's on my list to watch.
yeah, I believe she directed that. Where it's somebody who's known for these
Poignant films.
highly critically acclaimed movies
Mhm.
that are hot on the independent circuit that pretty much no one's heard of until Nomadland. But then, yeah, Marvel was like, hey, our next big out there franchise, take that. We're, hopefully we get with phase 2 or like whatever the next decade, they'll give creators more freedom.
I hope
I don't
hope
like
for that.
Like Sam Raimi's directing the next Doctor Strange movie.
Mhm.
I don't like Sam Raimi, but I will hope they let Sam Raimi
Do Sam Raimi.
do
things.
Sam Raimi.
I-
Even though I'm not excited. For
Just from watching the lineup, I am actually really excited because Taskmaster. I don't really know much about comics, but Taskmaster is one of like the characters I really really like.
Yeah.
Because I like his superpower. Plus, he was one of my he was part of my side team in Marvel's Capcom 3.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So like the fact that is he getting a show or a movie?
No, he's the antagonist.
Hold on, I gotta piss, so I'll be right back.
It's all the way downstairs.
Yeah,
You're downstairs.
that's locked.
You're locked.
You want to just wrap up?
Yeah, we'll call it a day.